So I really liked this episode, but the one issue I had with it was I couldn't figure out what was the A storyline. And I really feel that whichever storyline is the true A storyline is up to speculation or up to the discretion of the head writer for this episode. Because there was a lot of storylines going on, and each one seemed really important. But of like the 5 storylines that we had, each one essentially got the same amount of screen time. The one I would say got the least amount of those 5 would be Meredith and DeLuca, which I thought was interesting as the show is Grey's Anatomy, and in the trailer it was half of the trailer that storyline. So I thought it was really interesting that Meredith and DeLuca were really like the least important one. So let's talk about what happened in this episode, which I really did like. Though it seems to be more of an episode that I think it has repeat value, but it's background noise. You know, you watch it once when you're watching the season, just to understand the plot. But if you're rewatching the show and say you get bored or you get distracted by your phone, you're not going to be overly concerned about what you missed in this episode. So what we have going on is we'll talk about Maggie first. So with Maggie, a blast from her past comes, and it's Kiki from med school, and Kiki tortured her. And she has this really crazy heart disease. She needs a new graft, and Maggie's afraid to operate on her because she doesn't want to kill her. And I really love the way Kelly McKeary portrays being empathetic, but also being very, very, I don't want to call her hateful, but just very, very angry towards this woman that made her medical school career a disaster. So I really liked the way that Maggie was dealing with the problems and how she went to Joe to help figure out a way to solve that problem. And then Meredith came up with the solution to help. So I like how Meredith got involved in Maggie's storyline as well. And then Maggie got involved in Meredith's storyline with DeLuca. So overall, I thought that storyline was really well played out. And it just wove throughout the episode. It was, what was really nice about this episode, it actually reminded me of ER. And ER is, you know, essentially the original Grey's, I guess. But ER really did episodes like this where it was just kind of, you know, you had 5 storylines going on at once. And, you know, I feel with Grey's Anatomy you have like 3, and everyone's involved and they all kind of intersect at the end, more or less. I mean, there's obviously episodes that can be used to counter that argument. But I feel that Grey's Anatomy has real tropey writing in a good way. And this felt more like ER to me. So the storyline that I really did like, and the one that I would qualify to be the main storyline, is the Owen episode, the Owen storyline. And Kevin McKidd, as we know, who plays Owen, directed this episode. And you know, he's Scottish, and he had a Scottish, Scottish bagpiper get shot, or no, he directed that whole sequence and whatnot. But that's what Owen was dealing with, the kid who was shot by a gunman. And what I liked about the episode was, you know, in episode 10 of season 14, Personal Jesus, where it was race and gun control. Here, it was just sheer gun control. In Grey's Anatomy, they really do talk about gun control and how people shouldn't have guns, bring guns to anything, and there should be tighter gun control laws. And I like how that was subtly woven into the writing of the episode. I thought that was really well done. But Owen's storyline, and he encompassed Jackson and Weber and more or less Alex. Alex was dealing slightly with Bailey. But, you know, Owen is dealing essentially with trying to keep his kid alive and, you know, dealing with the father. And the father is a very empathetic character. I really like the actor who was playing the father because he doesn't want his son to die. And at the same time, Owen is dealing with his own personal problems, which would be losing Leo. So then we have Amelia's storyline. And now Amelia's is tied to Owen's storyline, but like they only intersected at the very beginning and the very end of the episode, which I thought was interesting because the trailer really did hype up them being together throughout the majority of the episode. So Betty, aka Brittany, her parents come and they want to take Leo back, and Amelia, you know, she's like, oh crap, what am I going to do here? Like, Owen's working, I'm not. Do I talk to the parents? Do I not? And she does talk to the mother, and she tells the mother that she's a drug addict to sympathize with her, to help her understand Betty's plight, which I liked. I thought Katerina Scorsone did that really well. But then towards the end of the episode, you know, Leo's grandparents want to take him back, and Owen's like, no, I'm his legal guardian. I was like, you go, Kevin McKidd. Like, that makes sense. I'm glad that you're not giving up your kid, because he is his kid legally. And, you know, the grandfather talked about how Amelia's a drug addict, and that just threw Owen for a loop because Owen, was struggling to save the Scottish guy's child, and now he's worried about losing his own. He got mad at Amelia. I thought it was just really, really well planned out, like the way those storylines more or less parallel each other. I thought that was really nice. So, Owen and Amelia's storyline intersected as well, and I really did enjoy that. And then the other storyline we have going on is Bailey trying to get back being interim chief, and I would say that would be, or being chief, Alex's interim chief. And I would say that was like a B-ish storyline. I mean, it's important because she was in a lot of scenes. I mean, Chandra Wilson is obviously a great actress, but, in last week's episode, I really felt that they used her acting capabilities to be really impactful. Here, I feel like she was more used for a comedic effect. I think this episode had a lot more comedy than you would expect because it was really hyping up the possibility of Owen losing Leo. And then, at the end of the episode, Alex is like, yeah, no, keep my job. And Bailey's like, okay, fine, Alex, I'm mad at you, but I respect you. So I like that. So overall, I thought Bailey's storyline with Alex was fine. Joe was there in the beginning. And then the last thing to talk about, the trailer did seem to hype up that Meredith and DeLuca were going to go out. We're going to see more of their relationship start to form. And it didn't really happen. There was like that one scene where he's like staring at her and like she kind of goes numb when, or deaf when Kadri's talking to her. And I thought, we might see them make out or do something just to see more of this interesting relationship, which I do support. And that didn't happen at all. Towards the end, it was just, I thought how, again, it's Grey's Anatomy, but Meredith's storyline kind of took a B. Like it was essentially like the least amount of screen time. I thought that was odd. But it looks like, there'll be more Mariluka to come in the future. And, one thing that was, overarching for Meredith's character in this episode is the idea that Maggie's going to be mad at her because she never responded to Meredith telling her about DeLuca. And I thought it was funny how Maggie was like, yeah, no, I couldn't even deal with that. And then one more storyline I just to touch upon is Teddy and Karasik. And they were dealing with like a polyamorous couple, more or less. It was like, it was essentially able to allow Teddy to reflect upon her own relationship with Owen, which is like, Owen's my best friend, but I can like Karasik, and I can have a baby with Owen, but Karasik can still be involved. And it was really interesting the way that the patients in this episode particularly were able to connect to the doctors. So I really liked what Kim Raver had to do as well. Kim Raver has really felt like a guest since she's been on season 15, at least in the beginning of it. And I feel like here she's definitely more of a leading lady. I would love to see more of Kim Raver and Ellen Pompeo doing more scenes together. They had one scene together in episode 5 of this season, like a good, impactful scene that did like a friendship development with the two of them. But I think there should be more of that. So overall, of the 5 storylines, I thought all of them were interesting. I enjoyed the episode, quite frankly. I thought it was nice, that it was well constructed, well written, very well directed. Kevin McKidd's directing is fantastic. Him and Debbie Allen are really good directors. And I really will give kudos to Kevin McKidd where, he's able to direct and be in many, many scenes. He was in a majority of this week's episode, which I didn't expect. But I did say in my trailer review that he is able to find a good balance. So overall, I thought the episode was fun. It was good to watch. Again, I do think that once you've seen it and you more or less know what's going to come out of it, you don't need to give it its 100% attention like you do, like if you are rewatching the show for maybe the second or third time. Like I think an episode that people would always give attention to is Flight, maybe Personal Jesus, the episodes when Derek dies in season 11, the episodes when Arizona and Callie are fighting over the baby, over Sophia in season 12. Like those episodes, I think deserve constant watching. But I think this episode is one, okay, I've seen it, I get it. I'll just kind of observe and just process it. I'll take it in later. So overall, what did you think of the episode? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching my review of episode 13 of Grey's Anatomy. Trailer review coming up real soon. All right, guys. Bye.